Thank you, Ms. Shea, and good afternoon and welcome, everybody. As you can see, this year's back-to-school theme is Your Time to Shine. I have put on my shiniest suit in celebration of this theme. But more seriously, that theme describes the district's optimism as our community slowly emerges from the uncertainty and disruption of the pandemic. We're excited to welcome everyone back to our campuses, and I know our students and our employees are ready to shine. I'm excited about my new role, and I look forward to working with the school board and our team to best meet and support our schools and our students. At the conclusion of last school year, the pandemic seemed to be loosening its grip a little bit. I think we were all hopeful and optimistic as we saw the rates decline and the vaccines become more readily available. And unfortunately, the situation as of late has kind of taken a turn for the worse, and we've had to kind of take a step back a little bit and make sure we double down on all our safety measures. I spent most of my first week on the job really kind of contemplating our district's COVID-19 protocols and given the heightened concerns around the Delta variant. Initially, I thought this issue was one for us to address at the local level. That'd be our decision. But that really changed last Friday with the governor's executive order, as I mentioned to the school board last night. But that executive order 21-175, coupled with the recent legislation that established the Parents' Bill of Rights that went into effect on July 1st, has really prohibited our district from enforcing a student facial covering requirement. After consulting with our Office of General Counsel and our colleagues around the state, I have no reason to believe at this time a legal challenge would be successful. And while I may question the governor's reasoning, there seems to be no question that the governor will do everything within his power to enforce his order. That includes potentially withholding our state funding and depriving us of the funds necessary to pay our employees. So that's a pretty serious threat that we had to take into consideration. We are monitoring the situation closely. Tomorrow, the State Board of Education is going to have an emergency meeting as they consider emergency rules to implement the governor's order. If anything should change after we see what these rules are, we'll react accordingly. That said, at this time, facial coverings for both our students and our staff are now strongly encouraged. And while there's no mandate, we really hope that people will make that decision thoughtfully and consider the environment we're in and consider the safety of not just themselves, but others. With our visitor policy, we are going to require facial coverings. So if to our parents and guardians that may be attending an on-school event, we ask you to please comply with this requirement and wear a facial covering. That will help us. We want to try to keep our schools and our employees that are working together each day in a bubble to the extent possible. So it just made sense to have that requirement for visitors that are coming on and off our campus and are not there day in and day out. And then again, a reminder, face coverings are most effective when we all wear them. Everyone in the room has them on. They protect not just yourself, but those around you. And I ask again that people please consider not just their own well-being or that of their child, but maybe of their child's classmates or the dedicated employees that are working there to serve our children as they make that decision to either mask or not mask. With the ever-changing health conditions, we're going to be monitoring this closely, and if we have to take a step back and reevaluate, or if conditions improve, we're going to check in every 30 days at a minimum to see if we need to adjust as we go on. The facial coverings get all the attention, right? That's in the headlines, and that's what everyone's talking about. But I do want to remind our community that our school district has gone well beyond just facial coverings. This last school year, we had multiple layers of protection. All of those measures are going to continue. And we got through last school year without ever having to close the school. And I attribute that to the leadership of our principals and also these measures that we put in place, which included enhanced cleaning and the use of electrostatic sprayers, the MERV 13 air filters put throughout our HVAC systems, the encouraging our students and providing opportunities for the frequent washing of hands, deployment of hand sanitizer that was readily available, disinfectant wipes in all of our classrooms throughout the year. And then with our partnership with the healthcare district and our school nurses, we're able to do rapid tests of any students that are symptomatic to see if they've potentially contracted COVID. So we're going to keep all that going. We're going to continue to social distance to the extent possible. Last year we had just a fraction of our students in the school buildings at a point in the year. So we were able to get to 6 feet in most cases. This year, with the full return to brick and mortar, that's not going to be possible. We're going to strive for 3 feet, but even 3 feet might be a stretch in schools that are fully occupied. But we will distance to the greatest extent possible as we go through the year. We're also, the outdoor dining was successful last year, and we're going to continue to expand on that. We'll be ordering more furniture for our school courtyards, the outdoor furniture with the patio tables and umbrellas, so students will have more options to eat outside. And one of the new things that we're doing, an added layer of protection, is the recent purchase of HEPA air purifiers. We've ordered 13,000 of these devices at a cost of nearly $6 million, and they started arriving on Monday. We're going to be deploying those first to our elementary schools and also to our school clinics or the nurse station, and then over the next few weeks we'll be able to have them fully deployed across all schools. And you hear $6 million, that's expensive, right? And everything we've done with COVID has been costly. And I want to just give credit to our federal government, the ESSER funds that were received. We've had 3 rounds of ESSER, the most recent being the American Rescue Plan. And that has really put us in a good position to not only just deal with the cost of COVID, but to deal with the academic and social emotional needs of our students, which we know are great. We've seen our state as a country, well, not just our state, the country in general. We knew this. We all suspected that student learning was going to suffer, and that has played out with the recent test results. And so that's part of the challenge, and we have these funds in place to try to remedy that and catch our students back up. But probably the more pressing issue is the social emotional side of things. We want to be prepared to meet the needs of our students and first welcome them back to our campuses, make sure they're doing well, and if they're anxious about things or have any concerns, we're there to help them. The referendum that was passed by our voters in 2018 has provided us, 2018, sorry. We now have a behavioral health specialist on every campus, thanks to that referendum. And the federal dollars will also allow us to augment that if needed with additional therapists and services as needed. So first things first will be to make sure our kids are doing well, get them the support they need, and then to dig into the catching up on any lost learning. Just to kind of start wrapping things up here, I think I've touched on most of what I planned to say. We're going to do everything within our power to keep our students and staff healthy and safe. We're excited to have our students return to the classroom. I truly believe, and this is documented by the research now, that in-person learning is truly what's best for them. Even the CDC has supported that students get back to the classroom. Health concerns aside, do everything you can to mitigate the risk, but get the students back into the classroom and try to stop this ongoing learning loss, and let's get things moving in the right direction. So that's what's exciting for me, to finally get the opportunity to get all our kids back on campus and let our teachers do what they do best, and let's get back to normal as much as possible. We're going to have all of our clubs, sports, activities. Everything is back online for the upcoming school year, and we're going to be as close to normal as possible. I'd just like to thank you all for your support of the School District of Palm Beach County and your cooperation as we all work together to have a great school year. And at this point, I'd like to invite Deputy Superintendent Mr. Ed Tierney to the podium to discuss additional health and academic protocols we're going to follow for the school year. Thank you.